Brought to you by Light His Fire, LLC.
Well, she's been called America's love expert,
Don't you dare file for divorce. Don't you dare split up.
the fairy godmother of relationships,
Isn't it exhausting to be in a bad relationship?
and the expert's expert.
If you don't have a love affair with your mate, somebody else will.
Hi, I'm Matt Lattimore, and thanks for joining me. My guest today is Dr. Ellen Kriedman, New York Times best-selling author and highly acclaimed relationship expert. She has appeared on every major talk show, including Oprah, Montel, Sally, Maury, and Barbara Walters' The View. She's been featured in most major newspapers, magazines, and radio shows around the nation. For over 20 years, she's been changing people's lives. Today, may be the day she changes your life as well, with her audio programs called Light His Fire and Light Her Fire. Ellen, it is so nice to finally meet you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Ellen, people all over the country are saying that you know the secret to falling in love and staying in love. So what's your secret?
When I give this piece of information, I think every major talk show host in the country asked me to repeat it. I remember Oprah having me repeat it backstage, so
Really?
here goes.
Okay.
A man falls in love because of the way he feels about himself when he's with a woman. And when he doesn't feel good anymore, he's going to find another woman that does make him feel good.
Yeah.
And that's really what an affair is about. It's not that he's in love with this other woman. What he's in love with is the way he feels about himself when he's with the other woman.
Oh, okay.
And a woman feels exactly the same way. Women will say to me, Ellen, now that I'm in love, I feel beautiful, I feel sexy, I feel needed, I feel special. And we have a right to feel like that for the rest of our lives. And when we don't, we try to find somebody who does make us feel good. And I remember doing a radio show in the Midwest, and this gentleman called me up and he said, what you're saying is so true. For 3 years, I've been having an affair, and I could never put into words why. My wife is beautiful, she's intelligent, she's the pillar of the community, but you know what? When I'm with my wife, I feel like nothing, and this other woman makes me feel like a king. So we continually have to ask ourselves this question: how does my mate feel about themselves when they're with me? Do they feel wanted, special, needed? Maybe you don't even know. And what about you? How do you feel about yourself when you're with your mate? Well, my program is going to show you how to make your mate feel so good about who they are, they would never dream of being with anybody else.
Now, a lot of people think that the reason that they're having problems in their relationship is because they're not making enough money or they're not attractive enough.
Well, I'll tell you something, they're dead wrong, because it isn't about getting prettier or thinner or making more money or becoming more intelligent. Some of the most beautiful people in the world are by themselves. Some of the wealthiest people are lonely. This is about how does another human being feel about themselves when they're in your presence.
I'll bet you get a lot of people who are sorry they didn't get to your program a long time ago.
I do, and it gets me crazy, and I'm going to scream if I hear one more person say, Ellen, if I had this information 2 years ago, I never would have gotten divorced. Or, oh my goodness, if I had heard this a year ago, I would already be in a relationship. I know that nothing happens by accident. If people are listening right now to this show,
Yeah.
It is for a reason. I remember a woman calling me up and saying it was 2 o'clock in the morning, she couldn't sleep. She and her husband had just talked about separating, and there I was being interviewed saying, don't you dare file for divorce unless you listen to this program. Well, she ordered it, she listened to it, and she gave it to everyone she knows. She's given it to her married children, she's given it to her friends, people that she works with. There are no accidents. I know everything is by design, and I don't care if someone's listening and they need a major overhaul in their relationship or just a fine tune-up. I know this program is going to change their life.
Well, it sounds amazing to me. It's got to feel wonderful knowing that you're making a difference in so many people's lives. Now, 20 years of doing this, what is it that keeps you motivated?
I'll tell you, I'm motivated by what's happened in my own life. In 1991, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then in 1995, I had a reoccurrence and I had to undergo a bone marrow transplant. And I'm here to tell you that when you are hooked up to life support and you have no hair, no eyelashes, no fingernails, no toenails, and you are as close to death as you can be, you know the meaning of life. And it is to love somebody with all your heart and soul and to have them love you back. And that's it, to give love and receive love. And I remember praying, please God, if you let me live, I promise that I will spend the rest of my life showing people how easy it is to find someone to love, to stay in love, and prevent divorce. And you know what, since I'm still here, I never forget that promise.
Wow, when you go through something like that, I'm sure it has to have a major impact on your life.
It does. What you find out is life is too short to be unhappy. We don't know how much longer we have here. And I hear people always postponing happiness. Someday when the kids are older, someday when we make more money, someday when I lose 10 pounds, whatever, that's when I'll concentrate on each other. That's when I'll be happy. And because I deal with so many people and I see those somedays never coming because of illness, death, or divorce, I know that the time to make your relationship the best it can be is is now. It isn't some imaginary time in the future that will never come. All we really have is today.
Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that think, listen, I certainly don't need this program. We have a good relationship.
You're right. You know, if I asked the average couple, why are you together? They would look at me like I was crazy, and they would say, because we're in love, that's why.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Well, love is not enough. 1 out of every 2 marriages now are ending in divorce, and everybody was in love in the beginning. It's human nature that the longer we are together, the more we're going to take each other for granted. Unless you have a program like this that as soon as you get off track, it puts you right back on track.
Right, right.
We live in a society, Matt, that it takes 5 years to become a plumber. And all it takes to get married are 2 willing bodies and a marriage license.
That's it.
Something is wrong with this picture. We keep taking courses for our professional life, and everybody I know, they get raises, they get promotions, but they do nothing for their personal life, and then they don't understand why it falls apart. So along with love, how about getting solid information to show you how to keep what you've got now and to make it even better?
You know, that all makes perfect sense. Now, what about the people who still care about each other, but they're bored out of their minds with the same old routine, you know, same thing, day after day after day?
That's probably one of the most common things I hear people say. I am so bored in this relationship, or my life is so boring. Well, the best way not to have a boring relationship is not to be a boring person. Now, here goes. I know I'm going to insult somebody out there, but if you're bored, you are boring. Now, you know why? Because when you say I'm bored, what you're saying, you're not taking any responsibility. So you're saying somebody else entertain me, somebody else make me happy. But if you say I'm a bore, now you have to take responsibility. And the only way I know to do that is do something outrageous, do something you've never done before, do something that's out of character. Because guess what? You're going to be nervous, you're going to be scared, you're going to be excited, but you won't be bored anymore. You are going to get so many ideas and hear so many funny stories of things that I've done and the people who've taken my classes have done that you will never be bored again.
Because let's face it, even the best relationships can get a little old and predictable sometimes. Now, what do you say to the couples who are exhausted because they're both working really hard, they're trying to raise the children, and the last thing on their minds is romance or passion?
Right. Well, that's not going to be the case after they listen to tape number 4. But have you ever seen somebody on a stretcher and they're hooked up to a heart monitor machine
Sure.
and the line goes flat because they've died?
Yeah.
Well, that's what most of us are like. We're zombies. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, work. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, work. You know, I once saw a funeral parlor sign that said, "Why walk around half alive? For $350 we'll bury you." You know? But I have been accused of taking the most exhausted, stressed out, overworked person, and by the time I get done with them, they are going to have so much energy, they're not even going to believe what they're capable of doing, let alone their mate's going to look at them and say, "You did this? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you did this."
And you tell us exactly what to do, step by step.
Absolutely. I don't leave anything to chance, and I try to make it easy, but the key word is fun, because most couples don't realize that when they're having problems in the bedroom, that's not the cause. That's the result of a relationship that's not working outside the bedroom. So I know that if I can get a couple laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun, that the bedroom's going to take care of itself.
It all sounds so exciting, but how do you get ordinary people to do the things that they're not used to doing?
Because I talk about what life is really about, and it's about creating memories, you know, and we get so wise before we die. Nobody on their deathbed has ever said, "I should have spent more time at the office. I knew it, I should have put in overtime."
Yep.
You're not going to say that. You're not
Never.
going to remember how clean the house was, what you wore, what you made for dinner, who won the game. What you are going to say in the end is, "Oh my gosh, it's almost over, and I should have had more fun, and most of all, I should have shown and told the people that I love how much they mean to me." And with this program, nobody is going to have a life filled with regrets.
And beginning with tape 1, you give us techniques that change our lives and change our way of thinking just like that. But what if only one person wants to work on their relationship?
That's okay. I had a woman 6 years ago who said, "This program is magic." I'm the one that listened and did the homework assignments, and guess what? He started to help with the housework. He started to plan our vacations. He started to bring me little gifts. I got a dozen roses. He started to change, and I'm the one taking this program. And I hear that all the time, because in any love relationship, there's a chain reaction. When one person says or does something loving, the other person reacts to that thing. And I remember another woman saying that her boyfriend was going to break up with her.
Right.
And she bought the program, did all the homework assignments, and at the end, he asked her to marry him.
You mean she listened to your program and he changed?
Yes. You know why? For every woman listening, this is about becoming more of a woman so that he feels like more of a man. And when I say that, it has nothing to do with whether you are home taking care of the children or you are president of a corporation, because when the doors are closed, you don't have any titles. There is a man and a woman standing there,
Very
and
true.
either you know how to relate to each other or you don't.
Very true,
You know,
yeah.
throughout history, men have died for women, they've killed for women, they've built buildings for women. The Taj Mahal was built for a woman, and I thought, what did these women have have that I can't even get him to vacuum, you know? I'm not asking him to die for me or kill for me or build a building.
Right.
I'm saying, I don't feel too good today. Do you think you could help out? Well, what you find is these women knew how to make these men feel masculine. And I'm here to tell everybody that when a man feels masculine, there is nothing he won't do for that woman in his life. And when a woman feels feminine, there is nothing she won't do for that man in her life. Well, this program is going to teach you how to make your mate feel so good about themselves, they're going to want to do everything in their power to please you as well.
Finally, there's a way to have a relationship that's filled with the fun, laughter, romance, and communication you're looking for with Dr. Ellen's Light His Fire and Light Her Fire programs. For more than 20 years, she's been changing people's lives.
I got back the feelings that I felt for him in the beginning, and I thought they were gone. They would never happen again.
This is not just when your relationship is on the rocks. This is to prevent it from getting that way.
Our marriage and our relationship is the greatest gift that God gave to me, and I think that Ellen's tapes are one of the greatest gifts I ever gave to myself.
Now it's your turn. If you have a good relationship, but the spark is gone, if you're in a rut and take each other for granted, if there's not enough conversation and you've drifted apart, if you're dating and don't want to repeat past mistakes, then don't wait another minute.
I've never heard any other program, seminar, series, anything that touched me the way Ellen's tapes did.
You know, it's information that they ought to hand out at the altar.
It gives you confidence is what it does.
It's something that just makes you feel like young lovers again. It takes you back to your teen years.
With Dr. Ellen's easy step-by-step instructions, you'll experience incredible results, not in weeks or months, but the very first day.
Choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. Both with 9 full hours of instruction on 6 audio cassettes, plus Dr. Ellen's easy step-by-step workbook. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge.
And now Dr. Ellen's Light His Fire program for women or Light Her Fire program for men can be yours for just 3 easy payments of only $29.95. What a small price to pay for the relationship you've always wanted. Plus, when you order now, you get Dr. Ellen's exclusive video, The Secrets of a Great Relationship, a $25 value, absolutely free. And there's no risk with Dr. Ellen's 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't agree that this is the best investment you've ever made in your relationship, just send it back for a full product refund. You really can have the relationship you've always wanted. Let Dr. Ellen show you how. Pick up the phone and call now.
To order, choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. Have your credit card ready and call the number on your screen now, or send check or money order for the full amount to the address on your screen. Buy your program now and receive a substantial savings on the companion program. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge. Order Dr. Ellen's program right now.
Dr. Ellen, some of our listeners may be thinking, well, this all sounds terrific, but it's too late for us. What about those people who are ready to call it quits?
This is a true story. A woman called me up and she said, you know what, my marriage is over, but my daughter's in trouble, and so I'm going to order the program for her because she's a newlywed and I don't want her to go through the heartache that I've gone through. So I said, fine, I'll send you the program on one condition. You listen to it first. And she said, oh no, you don't understand. My husband and I have already filed for divorce. We're living separate lives. We don't communicate. We're in our 50s. I mean, it's over for us. I said, no, you don't understand. I'm not going to send you this program unless you listen to it first. Now, wasn't she lucky to get me on the phone? But I said to her, you just listen. Do you know, I got a postcard from her months later saying that she was on a second honeymoon in Tahiti. I never listen to anybody who says, you know what, we're ready to break up, we're ready to call it quits, we're ready to get a divorce, because I know that if a couple was in love once before, I can get back their feelings that they had when they first fell in love, including the butterflies in their stomach. And if a couple stood at the altar and said, till death do us part, that meant that they loved each other enough to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And with this program, they're going to be able to fulfill that promise.
Ellen, do you think that a lot of couples break up because they just don't understand the important differences between men and women?
Absolutely, and that's why I have 2 different programs, one for men and one for women. And let's talk about an important difference, sex. To a man, sex is the most meaningful demonstration of love and self-worth. So many times when a couple has an argument, his way of saying, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, is through the act of making love. And the woman is sitting there saying, you've got to be kidding. You think I'm turned on now? We've just had an argument and you want to make love? But you know what? She needs to hear the words, I'm sorry, and know he really means it.
That is exactly it.
And you know what? Men need sexual fulfillment in order to respond to a woman emotionally, and a woman needs the emotional fulfillment in order to respond to a man sexually. And so what we have in this society is a stalemate. She looks at him and says, you know what, you don't make me happy, so what do I care about your happiness? And he says to her, well, what do I care what you want? You don't give me what I want. And I don't care who orders this program, but somebody has got to start.
Now, how does somebody know when their relationship is in trouble?
Okay, it's the 3 T's. There's no talking, there's no touching, there's no time. And a woman is usually so much more intuitive than a man, and she knows way before the man ever does that the relationship needs a little bit of help. I know this, that if a man is cold, distant, and doesn't communicate, she's going to know why and exactly what to do about it. And if a woman is not passionate, loving, and tender, he's going to know why and exactly what to do with it. Because we keep giving the other person what we need and we get nothing back in return. When you find out what the other person needs and you give it to them, you get back everything in return. Well, my program is going to show you how to make your mate feel so good that they would never dream about being with anyone else.
And there are a lot of women out there with men who are saying that they just won't commit.
Yeah, and you know what? They're not afraid of marriage. What they're afraid of is not knowing what to do. The unknown is scary. You know, what they're really saying is, look, I see all of my friends happy and they're madly in love and they get married and now they're divorced and they're miserable. I don't want to wind up that way. Or maybe they're stuck because they've gone through it themselves. Well, who can blame them? There's nothing worse than the feeling of helplessness. And so many couples and people who listen to this program that are single will say, you know what, now I feel like I'm empowered. These tapes empower me, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I have control over what happens.
You know, that is so right. And coming from a man's point of view, the feeling of losing control very much puts a man on edge. Right. You know, that's why it can be so hard for us to let go and to loosen up sometimes.
Yes. And that's why I have this wonderful secret that every woman needs to know about men. Inside every man, no matter how strong, no matter how powerful, no matter how successful, there's a little boy that is waiting to come out and play. And the woman that knows how to be playful becomes indispensable in his life. I remember one woman saying to me that her boyfriend asked her to marry him, and he said in the proposal, you know what, you're the only woman that I've ever fallen in love with in my life because you have a little girl inside that has forced the little boy inside me to come out and play. And that's why I spend so much time on teaching you how to be playful, how to have fun, how to laugh, because usually that's not something people learn unless they saw their parents behaving that way.
Ellen, what you teach us is so true. Now let's talk about why your program is so different from the other relationship programs that are out there today.
Well, for one thing, I've been married for 34 years to the same man, and we're still very much in love. Now that's different. And you know what? I've also raised 3 wonderful kids. And because I've been married for 34 years, I've gone through tragedy, I've gone through loss, I've been through disappointment, money problems, a life-threatening illness, and I know what it's like to live with somebody and feel that lonely, desolate, empty feeling. I also know what it's like to lie next to somebody who, even though he's your husband, he feels like a stranger. But you know what? I didn't give up and I didn't quit, and I don't want anyone out there to do that. I could turn their relationship around just like I've done with mine. You don't have to give up the dream of living the rest of your life with the person you love.
You know, I think what also sets your program apart are your personal stories.
You know, it's true. My life is an open book, and I love to teach by telling stories. And I know that people tell me that, you know, they're stuck in traffic. They don't even care. They're laughing their heads off at some of the stories I have.
Right.
And then they're actually upset when they reach their destination because they've got to turn the program off. But, you know, I know it's entertaining, but yet I get my point across because there's so many experts out there who say, you know what, be more loving, be more caring, be more understanding. What does that mean? Those are just words, you know? Unless people have concrete examples, they don't know. A woman who looks at her boyfriend or her husband and says, I want you to be more romantic. He doesn't know what that means, you know? He does after this program because I tell him exactly what it means. And let's say a man looks at a woman and he says, you know what, I'm just not happy anymore. You don't make me happy. Well, she doesn't know what to do with that information. Now she does after she listens to this program because I show you how to laugh, how to have fun, how to put more passion and excitement back in your life.
And when your relationship is good, you just feel so energized. I mean, it improves every single aspect of your life.
It does. And I look at people and I say, you know, when you're in a good relationship, you're laughing, you're having fun, you're filled with energy. You know, I mean, your life is exciting and you look forward to every day. And then I look at people and I say, my gosh, isn't it exhausting to be in a bad relationship? I mean, it drains the life out of you, right? And life is too short to live that way. And if I say that I've got a way to get you out of that, why wouldn't it be worth trying?
Now it's your turn. If you have a good relationship, but the spark is gone, if you're in a rut and take each other for granted, if there's not enough conversation and you've drifted apart, if you're dating and don't want to repeat past mistakes, then don't wait another minute. Listening to Dr. Ellen Kriedman's program can change your life forever.
I can't describe it other than it's like she's taking you by the shoulders and saying, you only have a certain amount of time, don't wait.
For the first time in my life, I really started to understand my wife and women in general.
Things are really good now. We have, you know, the marriage that we've always wanted.
Choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. both with 9 full hours of instruction on 6 audio cassettes, plus Dr. Ellen's easy step-by-step workbook. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge.
And now Dr. Ellen's Light as Fire program for women or Light Her Fire program for men can be yours for just 3 easy payments of only $29.95. What a small price to pay for the relationship you've always wanted. Plus, when you order now, you get Dr. Ellen's exclusive video, The Secrets of a Great Relationship, a $25 value, absolutely free. And there's no risk with Dr. Ellen's 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't agree that this is the best investment you've ever made in your relationship, just send it back for a full product refund.
After listening to the tapes, within the first week or 2, I started being asked out. I was asked out by 3 different men right away.
It just brought back a lot of excitement that we had lost.
Made me fall back in love with my husband.
She felt that if I listened to the tapes, then I could understand her better.
Right, Ellen put into words what I had been feeling and couldn't express.
You really can have the relationship you've always wanted. Let Dr. Ellen show you how. Pick up the phone and call now.
To order, choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. Have your credit card ready and call the number on your screen now, or send check or money order for the full amount to the address on your screen. Buy your program now and receive a substantial savings on the companion program. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge. Order Dr. Ellen's program right now.
Now, what about the C word? Communication. Why do couples argue about the dumbest things?
Because we really want to matter. Let's say he comes home and he sees her on the telephone and he thinks, I don't believe this. I haven't seen her all day and she would rather talk to her friends than be with me. Or he comes home and he starts opening the mail and she thinks, I can't believe this. We haven't seen each other for 10 hours and he'd rather look at the bills than talk to me. 20 minutes later, the same couple is having an argument. It has nothing to do with what they're arguing about. What they're really upset about is, I don't feel like I matter anymore to you. I don't feel like I make a difference. And you're going to walk around ignoring me, pretending that I don't exist? Well, then even an argument is better than the nothingness that I feel around here. Now, that's all going to change. They're not going to be able to wait to get into each other's arms. It's going to be a whole brand new way of coming home.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who could use that. But what about the couple who thinks their relationship is just too far gone? The ones who are ready to call it quits?
You know, you can always break up. You can always get a divorce. You can always leave the person that you're with,
out.
right? Yes.
Right.
But what if I'm right and I can turn the relationship around like I've done for thousands of people? If people are listening to me out there, don't you dare file for divorce. Don't you dare split up unless you've listened to this program, because I'm going to give you a new way to relate to each other. And I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. If this program doesn't work, nothing else out there will. I have psychiatrists, psychologists, marriage counselors who give these programs out to all their clients because they know it's going to show them and teach them what a happy, healthy relationship is all about.
Well, I can't help but think that that's what all of us ultimately want. But what about the people who try to find happiness outside of their marriage?
Well, remember this. A man falls in love because of the way he feels about himself when he's with a woman. And when he doesn't feel good anymore, he's going to find another woman that does make him feel good. And that's what the affair is about. It's not that he's in love with this other woman. What he's in love with is the way he feels about himself when he's with that other woman. And it's the same for women. They'll say to me, Ellen, now that I'm in love, I feel beautiful, I feel sexy, I feel needed. We have a right to feel like that for the rest of our lives. And when we don't, we try to find somebody who does make us feel good. And so many people who listen to this program finally see what went wrong, and now they know how to prevent it from ever happening again. And that's powerful information.
And it can not only save your marriage, but if you have kids, it can save your whole family. Listen, I have a couple of kids myself, and I know they can really change a relationship.
You are not kidding, okay? But the best gift you ever give your children is a loving relationship with your mate. The happiest, most well-adjusted children come from a home where mommy and daddy love each other. And the other thing I teach is the only thing we can ever give our children are roots and then wings. I don't care how good of a mommy or daddy you are, they're going to be gone someday. And if you've made the parent-child relationship #1 in your life and pushed the adult relationship on the sides that, you can wait, you can't. You're going to join the statistics where 1 out of every 2 marriages end in divorce.
We've only got a few minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, there are 4 types of people that are watching this show. First, there's a couple that's in a good relationship, and I'm going to show them how to keep what they've got now forever. And so many people get this program as a wedding or an anniversary gift by a parent or friend, someone who wants them to stay in love forever.
Right.
Then there's the people that are ready to break up. They're ready to call it quits, or they're ready to get a divorce. And I'm saying, don't you dare do this until you listen to this program. I do, because I'm going to turn back the clock and show them how to get back all the feelings they had when they first fell in love. And if you know somebody that's about to call it quits, tell them not to. In fact, buy it for them, and they're going to be thanking you for the rest of their lives. Then there's a couple that's just bored out of their minds, you know, and I'm going to show them how to be spontaneous, how to have fun, how to laugh. They're going to be the envy of every couple that they know. And lastly, there's the person that's not in a relationship, and with the information they get on these tapes, they are going to have people attracted to them like a magnet. And I know, Matt, that nothing happens by chance. Everything is by design. I know that if somebody has been watching this show, it is for a reason. And maybe it's not only going to help them, but it's going to help someone they care about, someone they know. Right. And whatever the reason, if you don't have a love affair with your mate, somebody else will. And for every woman that is listening to this program, you deserve to have a man who loves you with all his heart and soul. And for every man that's listening, you deserve to have a woman who loves you with all her heart and soul. My program is going to make that happen.
Finally, there's a way to have a relationship that's filled with the fun, laughter, romance, and communication you're looking for with Dr. Ellen's Light His Fire and Light Her Fire programs. For more than 20 years, she's been changing people's lives.
And it was so romantic and so much fun. We had forgotten how to have fun.
She knows what she's talking about, and this is fun, and I'm learning something, and I'm going to be able to share it with my husband, and wow.
The tapes really made a difference.
Guys seem to be coming out of the woodwork and approaching me, and this is still so new to me that I'm not quite used to it yet.
With Dr. Ellen's easy step-by-step instructions, you'll experience incredible results, not in weeks or months, but the very first day.
Choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. Both with 9 full hours of instruction on 6 audio cassettes, plus Dr. Ellen's easy step-by-step workbook. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge.
And now Dr. Ellen's Light His Fire program for women or Light Her Fire program for men can be yours for just 3 easy payments of only $29.95. What a small price to pay for the relationship you've always wanted. Plus, when you order now, you get Dr. Ellen's exclusive video, The Secrets of a Great Relationship, a $25 value, absolutely free. And there's no risk with Dr. Ellen's 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't agree that this is the best investment you've ever made in your relationship, just send it back for a full product refund.
For the first time in my life, I really started to understand my wife and women in general.
I really learned about a one-on-one relationship. I mean, Ellen gave me the how-tos.
You know, it's information that they ought to hand out at the altar.
It's something that just makes you feel like young lovers again. It takes you back to your teen years.
You really can have the relationship you've always wanted. Let Dr. Ellen show you how. Pick up the phone and call now.
To order, choose Light His Fire for women to listen to or Light Her Fire for men to listen to. Have your credit card ready and call the number on your screen now, or send check or money order for the full amount to the address on your screen. Buy your program now and receive a substantial savings on the companion program. And you can enjoy Dr. Ellen's programs on CDs for a small additional charge. Order Dr. Ellen's program right now.
Dr. Ellen, this has been an amazing half hour. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. It's been great being here.
On behalf of Light His Fire, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
The day that I take my last breath, I don't know when that's going to be, it could be in the hospital, it could be home, whenever it's going to be, I am not going to say to myself, oh, geez, I wished I had cleaned the kitchen floor more. What I am going to say is, I am so glad that Dick and I created all these memories together.
All right, and I'm not going to say, gee, I wish I had spent more time at the office. This is much more important. I have a wonderful position, a wonderful company and all that stuff, but it's my life.
There isn't a person out there who can't learn from it. You could be married 50 years and still learn from it.
And our marriage and our relationship is the greatest gift that God gave to me. And I think that Ellen's tapes are one of the greatest gifts I ever gave to myself.
The proceeding was a paid program brought to you by Light His Fire, LLC.